Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, bring you comics news, and reveal the books up off this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching the Comic Hero Show. Now kick that intro! Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. I hope y'all had a great Juneteenth celebration, and happy belated Father's Day to all the dads out there. The summer of superheroes continues, and on this episode, I'm paying tribute to the King of Wakanda himself, Black Panther. This is a Black Panther comic hero tee, and to go along with it, this Black Panther hat. Now, Black Panther was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, and made his debut in Fantastic Four number 52 in 1966. And he would go on to become a very popular character in the Marvel Universe. Had different volumes of series, miniseries. Even had his own movie come out 2 years ago with a sequel on the way in the coming years. And one of my favorite superheroes. Now, the Summer of Superheroes, again, is dedicated to all the men and women in the healthcare field. I mean, y'all have been amazing during this pandemic. And just keep on keeping on. I mean, y'all are saving lives, and at the same time putting your lives in danger. And I, along with anyone else here in the world, can't thank y'all enough. All right, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. All right, on last week's episode, I asked which Batman villain made their debut in the classic Batman story entitled Daughter of the Demon. Now, I gave some hints here on the show last week and on social media. The first hint is that the book and issue number is Batman number 232 in 1971. Second hint, this character is the grandfather of current Robin, Damian Wayne. And then the third and final hint, Liam Neeson played this character in Batman Begins in 2005. Well, the correct answer is Ra's al Ghul. And 12 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, their names have been entered in a drawing for a free tee. And that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is Roland Paris from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So congratulations, Roland. Win yourself a free Comic Hero tee. All right, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is an X-Men question. Which U.S. state are Cyclops and Havok from? Now, I'm only going to give you one hint. This state is one of the last states to be founded in America. Everyone who answers correctly been entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. Alright, now Ryan Chapman from Warren, Ohio has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and this one features two of the greatest archers in comics, one in the DC Universe and one in the Marvel Universe. One human, one alien. Representing DC, we have Green Arrow, and representing Marvel, we have Yondu. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call
the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's Green Arrow versus Yondu. Green Arrow possesses peak human physical and mental conditioning, is a master martial artist, archer, marksman, tactician, acrobat, and hand-to-hand combatant who utilizes high-tech equipment, armor, compound bow, and various types of specialty arrows. Yondu is an expert archer who possesses a technopathic link with one of his arrows. Who would win? Green Arrow would start off by shooting a series of arrows at Yondu. The latter would destroy each and every one of them with his arrow. Just as Green Arrow is about to reach for another arrow, Yondu whistles for his arrow to attack him. It then becomes a cat and mouse game. After a minute of being chased by Yondu's arrow, Green Arrow notices that Yondu only has a technopathic link to the arrow via the fin on top of his head. He tries to get close to him to remove the fin, but Yondu and his arrow make it very hard. Green Arrow then shoots a boxing glove at Yondu and knocks him to the ground. Green Arrow immediately tries to remove the fin from Yondu's head, but the latter whistles for the arrow to shoot Green Arrow right through the heart. Yondu wins, and that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Thank you, Ryan Chapman, for that fight request. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I'll have another one for next week. Now it's time for Comically Speaking, so without further ado, let's talk comics! Alright, there are two things we're going to talk about in this segment of Comically Speaking, and here's the first. Now, this COVID-19 pandemic has really put a hamper on a lot of things that we enjoy. I mean, there have been some things that have been canceled. There have been some things that have been pushed back to a later date. And then there are some things that are still up in the air. Now, one of the things that got canceled recently was Free Comic Book Day. It was supposed to be on the first Saturday of last month, but what I'm about to share with you is some great news that I just found out from the folks at Free Comic Book Day. They're still going to give away new books, but they're going to do it a little differently. They're calling it Free Comic Book Summer. And beginning next month, the 15th of next month to be exact, all the way through September 9th, they're going to give away at least 5 to 6 books a week. And I can tell y'all right now that I'm definitely going to go ahead and try to get my hands on just about every new book that comes in. Sure, that it's not going to be the same, but hey, sometimes you just have to make lemonade out of lemons. You have to make the best out of every situation, and this is exactly what the folks at Free Comic Book Day are doing, and I'm grateful for that. And if you live near a comic book store, go ahead and start beginning on the 15th. Go ahead and get you some free books. You won't be disappointed. All right, now the second thing is that She-Hulk is going to get a new comic book series right after the Empire miniseries ends, called The Immortal She-Hulk. Now, it's going to be written by Al Ewing with art by John Davis Hunt, and covers by Immortal Hulk artist Joe Bennett. And from my understanding, she's going to go through a lot of horrible stuff in Empire. I mean, it's like she hasn't already. I mean, back in during Civil War II, she almost gets beaten to death by Thanos, and then goes through a whole bunch of traumatic stuff. I mean, her anxiety gets worse, and then she cannot control the Hulkish side of her. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this is going. So this makes me look forward to reading Empire even more. And I'm definitely going to read the Immortal She-Hulk series when it comes out. But Al Ewing, I mean, let me tell you, I didn't really care much about him until he started writing the Immortal Hulk. When he started writing Immortal Hulk, I remember I read the first issue. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this is some Frankenstein, some Mary Shelley Frankenstein stuff. And then the artwork by Joe Bennett makes it even more frightening to read. I mean, I literally get the mess scared out of myself whenever I read it. And now if you're brave enough to read the Immortal Hulk, because let me tell you, it's going to be there's some very frightening stuff going on in there. I think you should read it. And then there's no doubt that he's going to kill it with the Immortal She-Hulk when that comes out later on this year. So, yeah. All right, that's it for Comically Speaking. Now let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
All right, first up is Batman the Outsiders number 13. Dark Knight's Death Metal number 1. The Flash Annual number 3. The Green Lantern Season 2, number 4. Metal Men, number 7. Superman, number 22. Wonder Woman, number 757. And finally, Young Justice, number 15. All right, that's 8, which brings the total number of comics that I've bought since December of 1997 to 10,037. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. Which U.S. state are Cyclops and Havok of the X-Men from? Now, I looked up some more info on this state, and I have some more hints. All right, the first hint is that this state is the 49th state in America. The second hint, this state is the only state besides Louisiana who have parishes. The third hint, the constellations Big Dipper and Polaris make up the flag of this state. And then the final hint, this state is right next door to the great country of Canada. Everyone who answers correctly will be in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Roland Paris from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, who won a free tee on this week's episode. All right, really enjoying things doing the Summer of Superheroes too. You know what? Again, this is a little different because I'm paying tribute to all the men and women in the healthcare field. I mean, again, just like I said at the beginning of the show, this episode, they've been doing such a wonderful job during this COVID-19 pandemic. I mean, there have been more people that have recovered than there have passed, and that is because of them. It's because of the hard work that they put in, of the kind-heartedness of them. They really didn't have to do it, but I'm so glad that they are. And say what you will, but you know, there'd be so many more people dead if it weren't, I mean, during anything, I mean, any kind of sickness, if it weren't for folks in the healthcare field. And I really thank y'all. And again, this is for y'all. All right, really don't have anything else, but I'm Victor Nunley on the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 317. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero, and Wakanda forever.